Hello everyone, welcome to Sam Science View channel. In today's video, we are going to listen to a science fact. Making eye contact signals a new turn in a conversation. Before getting into the video, please watch this entire video, and if you have any clarifications regarding science facts, you can get it rectified through this channel. Now let's get into the video. Neuroscientists have uncovered an intriguing subtlety in how we communicate. Eye contact is very important in communication. Let's uncover why eye contact matters and what you can do to improve your eye contact skills. Eye contact is an important part of communication, but in order to understand why, we must first answer an important question. What does eye contact mean? Eye contact is what happens when two people look at each other's eyes at the same time. This is a form of non-verbal communication that humans use to communicate many forms of emotions. Unlike other primates, we can easily see where humans are looking because of the amount of white surrounding our irises. As a result, we know where someone is looking even when their head doesn't move. This is why eye contact plays a huge role in communication. Let's now explore some reasons why eye contact communication is important. First, bond with others. Research has shown that eye contact activates the limbic mirror system, which means that the same neurons that are firing in someone's brain will also fire in yours when you share eye contact with them. If their eyes are communicating joy, neurons on your end will also fire to feel joy. This sharing of emotional states can help you bond with others and increase empathy between individuals. Second, display honesty. Good eye contact is an important display of honesty during a conversation. The eyes are a central part of nonverbal communication. They show a range of emotions that words won't always speak, and honesty can help two people build trust. Third, increase your resistance to persuasion. Research has shown that direct eye contact can make you more resistant to persuasion and influence tactics. You can use this nonverbal cue to be more aware of other people's influence over you. Fourth, to improve understanding between people. It's easy to have misunderstandings even when two people believe they are both listening intently. Making eye contact helps both people focus on the conversation and read facial expressions. This can improve understanding and can significantly improve communication between two people. Fifth, build respect. Finally, making eye contact shows and earns respect. Of course, it takes more than eye contact alone to nurture respect in a relationship, but it plays an important role. Looking someone in the eyes shows them that you think they are important. Now we will see some things everyone should know about eye contact. Eye contact is beneficial for the reasons we mentioned above, but there are other facts that make it an interesting and important concept. Let's look at them. Eye contact helps others remember what you said. Even you share eye contact during a conversation, you will remember more of what the other person said. The reverse is true as well. Other people will retain more of what you said. A research found that during a video call, participants retained more of the information from the call when there was more eye contact involved. And people don't even need a huge amount of eye contact to get this benefit. Researchers found that a direct gaze for 30% of the interaction is all it takes for participants to significantly increase what they remembered from the call. Eye contact can help with self awareness. Being self aware means that you are aware of what's currently happening with your body, and eye contact can help with that, according to research from the University of Paris. Their research found that people are more self aware when they are making effective eye contact than when they are avoiding eye contact. Researchers theorize that we are more focused on our own bodies and behavior when other people look at us. Eye contact creates attraction. Eye contact attraction is a real thing. Research shows that humans find other people more attractive when they make eye contact. Smiling can also help create attraction. While this is important for personal relationships, it also matters at work. Colleagues and leaders will be more inclined to build relationships with you when you look them in the eye. On the other hand, no eye contact can show a lack of confidence. So, here are some tips to make a perfect eye contact. If you find that your eyes wander away from the other person's eyes during social interactions, or if you have social anxiety, you can use some tips to use to improve and make eye contact more often. You will also learn how to maintain eye contact during an entire conversation. First, make eye contact before you start talking. Before you utter your first word, make eye contact. When the contact is established, you can start talking face to face. Hold your gaze for 4 to 5 seconds at a time. Not sure how long you should hold another person's gaze or how much eye contact to make? Try looking into people's eyes for 4 to 5 seconds at a time. Instead of looking down when you break eye contact, look to the side, then you can resume eye contact. Third, you can use gestures. Do you ever feel uncomfortable and want to break eye contact? Instead of just looking away, try using gestures and body language. You can nod, use your hands, or use other gestures that you usually make during a conversation. This will look more natural than just looking away. Fourth, move your eyes slowly. Avoid looking away too quickly when you break eye contact. This can make you seem nervous. Instead, look away slowly. Fifth, maintain eye contact 50% of the time. When you are having a discussion with someone, use the 50-70 rule, which means you should hold eye contact between 50 to 70% of the time. Maintain this amount of eye contact both while you are talking and while you are listening. There is an old saying that eyes are a reflection of your inner self. Holds true in most cases. There are a lot of meanings to eye contact. It can be a glaring look when a person is defiant or angry, a stare when we see something unusual about the person. Staring obtrusively is rude. A glassed over look when we are hopelessly in love with the person. It can also be a direct look when we are talking and trying to make a point. In all instances, we use our eyes as a level of communication with the other person. We also avoid a direct look from another person if we have something to hide. The police use it as a means to detect if the person is telling the truth or not. So, unless you are a very accomplished liar, in most cases you will feel uneasy when you lie. Also, sometimes a person feels uncomfortable looking another person in the eye due to shyness. This trait is also present with other signs of shyness such as a slight stammer and sometimes blushing. Otherwise, it could just be that the person has a short attention span for anything you have to say. Our eyes also reflect our sincerity, integrity, and comfort when communicating with another person, which is why having good eye contact while conversing is the indication that the communication has gone on well. How is eye contact related to events? Well, events are a form and means of communication, be it to send out a message, to educate, or even to introduce. A good event management company will realize that eye contact during communication and speech are important. We can see an illustration of eye contact between a man and a woman. Take, for instance, a presentation event where you have a speaker and an audience. One of the main items of importance during event planning will be the camera and projection screen. Another item of importance is the cameraman. One point to note is that you can obtain a good event management app to manage your checklist for all these items. Notice how during the presentation the cameraman will focus on the face of the speaker. On cue, when the speaker makes a point, the cameraman will focus on the speaker's eyes. This is to establish a contact between speaker and audience through the big screen so that the audience can feel a connection between the speaker and his or her audience. When you notice this in any presentation that you go to, make sure to take note of the event solution company and the cameraman. They have their act well rehearsed. You can see about the body language too. Eye contact is a form of body language which is important during communication. How we present ourselves and communicate with others aside from talking is by our body language. Our body language speaks more than words, which then logically accounts for a bigger percentage of our communication skills. Therefore, our eyes speaks volumes about us and how we communicate. Some points to remember while communicating and why eye contact is important. Surprise! Eye contact is a sign that you happen to be a good listener. Now, what has the eye got to do with listening? When you keep eye contact with the person you are talking to, it indicates that you are focused and paying attention. It means that you are actually listening to what the person has to say. That is where the saying, "Don't just listen with your ears," comes from. So, listen more than talk. Everyone loves a good listener, especially the opposite gender. Your eyes are a way of building a connection with the other person. This could mean you like that person, you feel comfortable talking and communicating with the person, or you just are plain falling in love with the person. Either way, the eyes say it all. Avoiding eye contact would also mean that you do not want the person you are speaking with to know too much. It could be that you may not like the person, you do not want the person to know you like them, or you do not feel comfortable with that person. These are the negative impacts of avoiding eye contact. Sometimes the other person might read it wrongly and therefore produce a negative feelings towards you as well. A big part of eye contact is building trust. The person with whom you are talking to will be more likely to trust and respect you, as eye contact indicates an openness in communication. It also tells the other person, "Hey, I'm confident and self assured, you can trust me." So, if you hope to land that big contract or project, be trustworthy. Practicing Good eye contact is a skill for effective and vital communication and is mostly underrated and underutilized. Keeping eye contact with the person you are talking to indicates interest and saying to the person you are important and I am listening. It is one of the unseen tools used in any event of communication. An event management solution provided by the companies will enable you to generate a survey and report based on your recent events. One of the questions you can post is, how effective was your presentation? Did the presenter keep eye contact with the audience? Results of your survey will be useful in hosting future presentations events. A great event management software should also be flexible enough for you to be mobile while you are busy organizing the event. Now we carry all sorts of mobile devices. An application that can be accessed from your mobile phone is a great way to keep in contact with your team. These apps not just limited to event in certain countries but from anywhere in the world. So no matter where you are organizing an event, you can use your iPhone phones and the event solution to keep an eye on your team. What is found in a good conversation is that it is certainly correct to say words. The more engagingly put, the better. But conversation also includes eyes, smiles, the silences between the words, as the Swedish author Annika Thor wrote. It is when those events hum along together that we feel most deeply engaged with and most connected to our conversational partner, as if we are in sync with them. Like good conversationalists, neuroscientists at Dartmouth College have taken that idea and carried it to new places. As part of a series of studies on how two minds meet in real life, they reported surprising findings on the interplay of eye contact and synchronization of neural activity between two people during conversation. In a paper they have published, the researchers suggest that being in tune with a conversational partner is good, but that going in and out of alignment with them might be better. Making eye contact has long been conceived as acting like a cohesive glue connecting an individual to the person with whom they are talking. Its absence can signal social dysfunction. Similarly, the growing study of neural synchrony has focused on the positive aspects of alignment in brain activity between individuals. In a new study, by using pupil dilation as a measure of synchrony during unstructured conversation, psychologists and a graduate student have found that the moment of making eye contact marks a peak in shared attention and not the beginning of a sustained period of locked gazes. Synchrony, in fact, drops sharply after looking into the eyes of your interlocutor and only begins to recover when you and that person look away from each other. Eye contact is not eliciting synchrony, it's disrupting it. Why would this be? Conversation requires some level of synchrony, but the study says that speculate that breaking eye contact ultimately propels the conversation forward. Perhaps what this is doing is allowing us to break synchrony and move back into our own heads so that we can bring forth new and individual contributions to keep the conversation going. It's a fantastic study, says a psychiatrist and from the Institute of Psychiatry in Munich, who studies social interaction but was not involved in the research. He applauds the design of the experiment to replicate natural encounters and the focus on free form conversation. The results, the results suggest, he says, that interpersonal synchrony is an important aspect of social interactions but may not always be desirable. Others in the field are drawn to the researchers' creative way of thinking about conversation, which is described as a platform where minds meet in a paper. Such a conceptualization may inspire other researchers to think about conversation differently and study it more deeply, says a psychologist at Haas School of Business at University of California, Berkeley, who also was not involved in this research. The new work builds on an earlier study by a psychologist now at Harvard University who showed that pupillary synchrony serves as a measure of shared attention. Our pupils get larger and smaller as a reflexive response to changes in light, but also to a lesser degree when we are physiologically aroused. So they tracked eye movements in speakers as they recounted positive or negative memories about their life. Then the researchers tracked the eye movements of people listening to the same stories at a later point in time. They found that the pupil dilation of the listeners synchronized to that of the speakers when there were emotional peaks in the stories. We knew this was a marker of people being on the same page as each other. For the current paper wanted to extend those earlier findings by studying face-to-face conversation in order to see how eye contact might influence shared attention in real time. They have put 186 psychological students at Dartmouth, all relative strangers, into conversational pairs and asked them to talk for 10 minutes about anything they wanted while they tracked their eye movements. Participants also watched videos of their conversations and rated their remembered level of engagement minute by minute. We expected that eye contact worked like a cattle prod to get two people back onto the same wavelength. If that were so, the onset of eye contact should have led to a subsequent increase in pupillary synchrony. Instead, the researchers found the opposite. A peak in synchrony at the onset followed a decrease, but they also found that participants reported being more engaged when they were making eye contact. They thought that perhaps this making and breaking of eye contact must do something to help the conversation. Previous studies of eye contact have generally been passive, as in the earlier studies. The real world design of Wirtgen's experiment served as a reminder that most people naturally look at and away from each other many times during a conversation. Holding someone's gaze for too long or not at all can seem awkward. As the researchers thought further about what eye contact might be doing for us, they turned to the literature on creativity. There they recognized the constraints of too much synchrony. If people are trying to innovate in some way, you don't want people in lockstep with each other. You want people to say, what if we did this? What if we did that? You need people to be providing their independent insights and building that way. The idea that eye gas can be used to modulate synchrony is intriguing to other researchers. The elegant experimental approach might be helpful to quantitatively investigate psychiatric conditions which can be described as disorders of social interaction. who have been studied gaze and other elements of social interaction in autism. The findings also help explain the frustrations of Zoom and other video conferencing platforms on which real eye contact is nearly impossible to make or break because of the positioning of cameras and windows on screens. We can imagine follow up studies that explain a variety of conversational contexts. How does the dynamic dance between making and breaking synchrony play out when a parent is instructing a child, for instance? Presumably, in that situation, a parent would be hoping for the child's full attention and therefore complete synchrony. On the other hand, perhaps the study helps explain why long car rides in which people do not look at each other the whole time are often conducive to deep conversation. There might be an optimal sweet spot in this decoupling thing where people are really listening to each other, but they are also fueling the conversation with new ideas. Those conversations might be the most fun. So, when you converse with your friend or with any stranger, you can feel that eye contact and have that eye contact to find out what they are thinking and about their inner feelings. You try it in the oncoming days and feel about the signs in it. So that's it for today's video. I hope so you got some facts related to what this eye contact is making a signal to a new turn in the conversation. And if you have any science related doubts, keep it get it clarified, and you can check it over through this channel, and you can support this channel. We'll meet in the next video with the next science fact treasury series. Until then, it's goodbye from Sam. Take care.